is, to me, a very Canadian sort of event, and I mean that in a very positive way. It's very low-key, it's very informal, it's not hierarchical. I mean, anyone can talk to anyone, which I think is great. And people are very open to exchanging ideas, to talking about issues, to raising questions. I mean, I haven't noticed anyone being shy here.
You know, for instance, last night I was sitting and in quick succession talked to a United Way worker from Regent Park, and then a farmer from southwest Ontario, and then a former finance minister. And it wasn't Paul Martin, so there were more than one former finance minister. So, yeah, I can't think of another event in Canada that's like that.
Couchiching has got the capacity, the capability, and the convening power of bringing people to this wonderful site just north of Lake Simcoe. So that's going to be keeping it relevant for another 80 years.
It's great when members of the public are able to come face to face with leaders, with world leaders, with people who make decisions.
It reminded me that Canadians do take a very deep interest in public affairs. They are interested in what's going on in the world, and they do have what I think of a very Canadian perspective, which I think is helpful. I think we need people who are not from great powers, who don't have particular axes to grind, who are able to look at world issues, and goodness knows we need to look at world and issues, and those include Canadian issues, in a way which looks towards how can we deal with them, how can we solve them, rather than trying to make debating points.
I mean, you know, ideas kick around, and then people like me often pick up on them, other people's ideas, and appropriate them and circulate them, and then suddenly, seemingly overnight, they're appropriated by the mainstream or by the politicians of the day, and they become policy, and then they affect people's lives.
I've spoken here a couple of times as a decision maker, and it was very helpful to me as I finished my speech to get some feedback from people here on what they thought of some of the ideas that I was presenting to them.
If you would like a nice weekend out of Toronto in the summer by a lovely lake, and you'd like to meet a bunch of interesting people and have some fun, because Couchiching's fun, and if you'd like to have a lot of time where you sit around and chat and you listen to people, this is the weekend for you.
I think there is a conversation between different types of Canadians, and you know, I think that most of the people who are going to leave this place at the end of the weekend are going to feel that they were enriched by the experience.
Coming to Couchiching has encouraged my interest in all aspects of public policy, and there's no doubt that in my mind, that I would not have ultimately ended up in politics if it hadn't been for the experiences at Couchiching.
I mean, we need more Couchichings rather than less.
"80 years from the founding of the Couchiching Institute, the 2011 Summer Conference will examine the meaning and forms of civic engagement today. Is the early 21st century brand of engagement able to meet the challenges of our time? Join us August 4th to 7th while we discuss, debate and engage about the issues at the centre of our lives and those that propel us toward action.